What's up? What's up? What's good? Wait a second, let a couple more people get in here. Yeah, so with AVAX, I was watching it, and I still like the old entry because really, when you kind of like dissect it, I mean, it doesn't even matter what time frame you're on. With choaches, it's just easier to see them on some. Like for instance, we had like a low, high, new low right there, and then our old high was cleared. So this one's kind of odd because it's like it's a definitely that's a choach up there for sure, 100%. And with a lot of these changes of character, oftentimes we'll see price return all the way up to the overhead supply at the top of the swing, at the higher high, or I'm sorry, lower high. Because remember, we always play these changes of character after we've tapped into other mitigation, like supply or demand. So tap into mitigation, right off of it, you see a change of character immediately. And remember, for the change of character, you have to have this structure. You cannot just have a link. I got you in 1 second. But so like you have this high. Here you go, normal structure. Made that new higher high, but did not make a higher low. So after that, that's your choach right there. Like structurally, that's it. It doesn't have to like look perfect or this and that. But you know, when we look at this mitigation zone here, and we also have this mitigation zone down below. Now, while this did get tapped, it's what I usually look for. If I'm going from 1 hour mitigation, which was up here, to a 5 minute change of character, I'll usually look. Um, if I get the 5 minute change of character, I'm comfortable playing limits off of the top mitigation, but I will set alerts here if there is another mitigation zone because I mean you could say it was the last candle, however you want to draw it, but definitely we obviously saw a reaction there and we actually saw a change of character. And whenever you're using these time frames to try and confirm these changes of character, you can scale in. So for instance, if I'm in the 5 minute, I go from the 1 hour 5 minute change of character, use 5 minute supply from that. You could call it a BOS to the downside down here as well. You could say that this was the change of character. I think on a, where was it? Yeah, on a 15 minute was a change of character right there. And then we have this 5 minute mitigation zone. So once price reaches back up there, we can watch the 5 minute or the 1 minute for a confirmation. Whether you watch the 1 minute, that's what I got us in on originally. So right, where was it on? Boop, and then we came in here, and if you look, we had this change of character down here. So whenever you're coming back down from this first rejection, we had our change of character. So now we're in a downtrend. We're gonna have these, um, you know, we have a new low, new high, new low, high, low, high, and so on. Actually, we got here, and then you got that change of character to the bullish side. And where were you headed? Just back up to supply. It wasn't anything major. It looks like you hit like equilibrium of this order block over here, but once we saw a rejection from this zone once again, because we have supply up here, I think it was on a 5 minute. Yeah. Oops. Bigger candle right here. We saw rejection. Another 1 minute change of character. Because remember, here, once we came down here, we made a new high, low, high, right here. So we cleared. It's the same thing. And this is why it gets difficult for people to see when they're kind of newer to this. And it's even difficult for me sometimes. It is just kind of an advanced technique that takes some practice and just not overthinking. So when you make this new expansion, you have expansion. You don't really make a lower low on, and I'm talking on a one candle basis. So like this price swing is pushing. You don't, not right here. This didn't make a lower low. You come up here and then what? So that's going to be a high. So new low. So then you come up and you make your new high again. So right here, you had another change of character. And then I watched for price to come into, because this is going to be your supply right here, this candle. Let me see, reaction. And you can continuously do this technique over and over again, but it gets to the point where I mean, like, are you confirming, confirming, and confirming? Which it's not bad to do that, but sometimes you'll just wait until the price isn't even at a good risk to reward anymore. Um, with this particular setup, I'll be trimming pretty heavily if we hit these TPs, just because I do still see a better entry if possible up here. But we did start to shift market structure once we reached the mitigation for the 15-minute change of character. So I did want to go over that with you guys. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now, the same reason why I moved these Bitcoin limits down, because once you start to see this, Bitcoin was really fucking crazy today. Like, a lot of people got stopped out and were playing it correctly is the thing. Like, this right here was just such just manipulation that it made me almost not even want to trade whenever I woke up. I was looking at stuff. Hold on 1 second. So now, whenever we're looking at Bitcoin, I know if you guys in the server, you guys already saw the sentiment, but really on the daily, um, we push below these equal lows if you're using candle closes, right? These candle closes here, and then also these wick lows. We price traded below. Let me go to a different chart. It's not all marked up. So price traded below. If I can find my arrow tool. And link, I know I'm going to do link in 1 second, Nick. I haven't forgot. I just want to go over this first. So we swept these lows right here. And at that point, what the fuck? Why is the low swept? Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. Oh, I know why. Because it's saying it's invisible in this time frame. I had this problem the other day, and I was like, dude, what's going on? It's like making my tools disappear. So we had those equal lows swept. When you look at the current price swing we're in, and I'm not talking about the entire range, really just this new high to this low. So we have a low here. And this is your high, really these very local ranges right here. So we're in discount here. We were farther in discount this morning whenever I released the sentiment. Um, so, I was kind of wanting to look for some longs potentially, specifically off this 1 hour change of character. So it's the same thing, right? We're down into an area of liquidity, and you can use a change of character with liquidity. I found it's better with mitigation. I mean, I guess you could say this is demand if you wanted to. It's already been tapped multiple times, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But we did come onto these equal lows, so there's going to be a lot of liquidity. You could look for a reversal. With everything, we always need more confirmation. And if you look here, so with Bitcoin, we had low, high, low. So, and it's important to just kind of map this out because a lot of people really mess up swing structure. Is what I've noticed working with people, is that tons of people have no idea how to properly label highs and lows. But so from here we start to change character right there. That's where we shift to a downtrend. So now anytime we make a higher high, it's a change of character to the upside. So we came down and really tapped those equal lows, got a little bit of a scam pump. This is where we got some more shorts over the weekend. For those of you who are in the Discord, we fucking killed it with SKL, and I think there was another one I can't remember. But um, after that mitigation, we are clear to come down and test these range lows, clear up that liquidity, and we did just that. After this, so now we have our new high, low, new high, low, new high. Notice we got to change the character. So, when we look at whether you look at this wick or this candle close, it's really the same price swing that did it, which is going to come back down to this mitigation right here. It's 1 hour's demand right there in that order block. So, you could have kind of a bullish case there, I guess, but this is how you can get tricked. And get screwed trying to long stuff whenever you're forgetting the high time frame narrative. And this is why I always stress how important it is to stay mindful of the bigger picture. When we look at this higher time frame narrative, yes, we're starting to become in discount. I get it. Let me draw this actually the way I've been drawing it, which was these highs up here. I'm using these range highs that sent us the strong low and strong high. If you look, I mean, this is clearly, in my opinion, until we start to get higher highs on the daily, we're in redistribution. This was where kind of did it for me. And those of you guys who've been in the Discord, we took shorts, I think from like 47, 170. So we kind of sniped the top there. I know most of you guys aren't holding them. We've hit Bitcoin a couple times since then, but that was really kind of what confirmed redistribution, in my opinion. Yes, we left some buy side liquidity above, but to be dead honest, I don't see that getting tapped for a while with all the macroeconomic factors at play. And we've came down and we've swept the equal lows if you use candles and if you're talking about these lows right here. But there's still a ton of liquidity just in these major lows here. And in all honesty, if you're looking at redistribution and okay, here's your range. Let me, how can I extend this? So this is really your trading range right here. This is your strong highs, your strong low. Whenever you use internal range liquidity, right? Because we formed a low, came back up, we played the return to origin of the expansion of this move, which was also right at equilibrium, right at fair market value of the previous trading range, reacted with heavy displacement in the market. Obviously, that it's obvious that smart money entered or exited positions in this area. And now, what that would lead me to believe is I would look for the range lows from a swing perspective. Does that mean we won't get any opportunities for longs? Not necessarily, but does it mean that longs are going to be a little harder to take? And also, you must take profits aggressively whenever you're trying to trade against the high time frame narrative. And that's why any of you guys who have been trading with me have seen the longs are cool if they hit. Sometimes they don't, but the shorts are giving us that same reaction that you want when you take a trade. Heavy displacement from your level of entry. You know, you get that pump, but it's not a pump. So that just tells me that supply is heavily in control of the market, and you can see this same redistribution schematic over and over again. For instance, if we draw this right here, let's do a bar pattern. I'm just curious. So if we have this bar pattern on the daily, we go into the 1 hour. You can see that let's do like maybe a 2 hour, even though I don't really use this time frame. Point of the story is you can see the resemblance here. I hope you can. I can definitely see it. Yes, it doesn't lay right on top of it, but you have this drop, base, drop. Then it looks like accumulation, but what happens? We just hit back up into supply and have a heavy reaction. And then if you take this same schematic and you put it right here, we're starting to, actually, let me do this. We're starting to mirror the same price action. And while it's not going to be exactly the same every time, the takeaway from it is not to look for price to completely follow that path perfectly, but it's to understand that we are maintaining bearish price structure. So, although we have reached below these equal lows, we are in discount of the recent price swing. And of the whole price range, the larger price range, which would lead me to look for buys, but they would end up buys to sells if we did take buys. And even then, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look too great where we're at here. Like, it just looks like more redistribution to me. So the same thing, supply, mitigation, kind of confirmation of a shift in trend, which would lead you to target range lows down here. Which I think would be better for longs because once we get under all of these lows, you probably will see some more of a relief bounce, and I guarantee there's going to be some kind of mitigation zone somewhere in here. We can probably find it very easily. There you go. I would probably target like 50% of this candle, which is like 36,900 or something. It looks like no 36K. So somewhere around there. We'll revisit the chart and maybe try to find levels later on. But yeah, I just we'll see on the 1 hour. Like I was talking about earlier in this post, I could see this demand zone being something. We just need more confirmation. Once price reaches that level, we'll keep an eye on it and see how we react, and if we can shift trend on the probably the 5 minute is where I'd look. When I use a 1 hour supplier demand, I use 5 minute for confirmation. 4 hour, I use 15 minute. Um, and that's not totally linear. It kind of can change. It just depends on market structure. Sometimes I'll use the 1 minute, but um, that kind of depends on your style. So that's really it with Bitcoin. I'll just go over that, and then also Link. I know that you asked for Link. I haven't looked at Link in a while, to be honest. Should I clean my whole chart? Let's go to weekly. So we are in weekly demand here. You're under an old low on the daily, which is also good. Here I would not be touching it just yet, but you could look and say, I don't know, it's not the best price structure. I won't lie to you. Um, it looks more just like maybe even redistribution under this low. So yeah, you have these, you hit supply, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and this is probably going to come sweep all these early stops right here and right down there below. So not looking too great in my opinion. I mean, heavy reaction right off that level. Not really a bullish indication right there. If you look here, I mean, you're about to get that change of character. If anything, if you can break below this low right here, um, I would look for probably a return maybe to up here if you're lucky. ENS, yeah, I got you. Actually, I think that Pop put like the same limits that I was looking at personally. When Playboy was talking about, I was like, all right, fuck it, might as well set some limits. But yeah, with Link, I would be probably looking for. I mean, you could even go deeper and look at the 1 minute. See if since this is off low time frame, demand or supply, we're on the 15 minute. You can use the 1 minute here, and you've got your low, high, low. There was your change of character. Order block's going to probably be on the 1 minute. As we saw earlier with a couple different plays, like Ren kind of left us behind. I've started to use these bigger candles, especially when they both have high volume like this. If we're on the 1 minute, and then let's see what it looks like in the 5 minute. Yeah, it's still really the same candle. I'd probably just use the 5 minute supply. But at that point, you could wait for price to dip through here and look for this right here. But I've been trying to refine even more and more. And once price gets up here, when it come down here, and then you want price to do this number right here, that change of character, sweeps liquidity to above, and then you can play that same setup. And that's how you're going to be able to refine your stop loss. For instance, like SKL, we took. If you guys took that correctly, you should have made over 10% of your port on that trade just by having a tight stop loss and being able to go in heavier. Because if you're on 10x leverage and you have a 1% stop loss, well, that's a 10% of your portfolio position. If that position runs 100%, you've just made 10% of your portfolio. It's not that crazy to do. It's just it's important to make sure you're not risking over 1%. A lot of people say 2%, but I mean 1% is plenty if you're taking good trades, in my opinion. 2% is like degenning. And I've heard people that are like, oh, just 2%. And I'm like, bro, if you rest two, I mean, you think about it. If you have 5 trades you lose in a day, you just lost 10% of your money. So, and everybody has bad days. So I don't really agree with it. But with Link here, not looking too great. Uh, Not really any super obvious signs of liquidity. And yeah, you're in weekly demand, but I think this was really the move there. And then you see this failed. It's like when you came in, filled this demand up. Uh, let's see. I mean, you could say this was really your change of character level. And this is on a daily too, which it's weird using this, but it came down to this demand and really didn't do much at all. So it's like, you know, how much do you really want to play this? I personally wouldn't, not for longs, and also not really for shorts as much because you are down. Been beaten down so much. Like when we look on the daily time frame, I mean, you've already cleared the range you're in. I mean, Link looks like a dead coin at this point. Jesus, it's fucked up. And yeah, you're just so far in discount of any range you want to draw, because really this is going to be, you're still forming this new range because you just broke under this previous strong low. So it's like this one I would just leave to do its thing for a little bit. Also, so can I repeat the choach technique again? Oh, well, the Bitcoin entry, what is it? You couldn't take it changed to neither of them hit, so it didn't matter that the price was changed. Um, but so the choach I'll show you is, so it's pretty fucking drawn up. So for instance, we had this low that sponsored a new high. Let me go on a different chart that'll make this easier. How's AVAX doing? Actually, might as well check it. They're just kind of chilling. Whenever we have a, let's use a 5-minute. So we see here price came up into a mitigation zone, which is a supply zone. Basically, you got to look at it like you don't want to be trying to find choaches during any kind of 1 to 5 minute zones. You want at least a 15-minute or better order block. And to be honest, 1 hour is the best in my opinion, 1 or 4 hour. So you want to make sure you're in a zone of supply, and then you're going to look for a change in character. So a change in character. Can I do an update on Gilmer and FTM? Yeah, sure. So right here, a change in character, we have this low, a high, a new low, because every time there's a new high, the low before it's confirmed. So you have this price structure. You have a low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then what? Clear out that low. So now you've made a lower low. So that's a change of character. And you would use the order block that sponsored that change of character. Now, if we zoom out on the 15-minute, the change of character happened down here. And this really was your supply and demand zone. Or sorry, not supply and demand. This was your supply zone down there. But in order to play change of character, you got to understand how to draw supply and demand zones. And also, Eska Marie, but the Discord server, the link is in the bio on YouTube, or in my other video descriptions. I don't think it's in this. It won't let me with StreamYard. All right. What was another? Oh yeah, Gilmer. That's what it was. But Gilmer, I mean, we can look at the chart as much. It really wasn't. This is something that's like fundamental, just to kind of like hold on to for the long term. It's not like we can do some charting on it though. Let's see. It's not really a ton of data. It's something more that was bought for what it is. So if you buy something on like a DCA buy and like for the long term, the TA really isn't what you're watching for. It's more or less, do you believe in the project? And that's why you DCA into it, so you can catch the price when it's down and when it's up. Doesn't look terrible here. It's not something I'd be trading really. So you had this change of character right here. Depends how you drew it. You could say this was, be looking for reversal around here, or say here. if you wanted. I wouldn't really trust that one as much. But you know, for the case of being a bull here, if you were looking to trade, which like I said, I wouldn't really recommend trading these lower caps. There's plenty of high liquidity coins you can trade. You'd be looking for this, and then you'd want to look for range highs. And then FTM. Let's see where we're at with FTM. So you're in daily demand. I don't know why I drew this zone so far over. You've got equal highs right at your change of character marks. That's good. But if the market does what I think it's going to do, I don't know if you'll get it. Really, you'd be looking for a push above that and play the order block that sponsored said swing. So in the case, if we saw that from where we're at, see, bam, I would play this institutional candle over here, and you'd be looking for range highs. But it's like trade. I mean, depending on which candle saw reaction, and you'd be waiting for confirmation at whichever level you played. So you could say price moved there. That would be a better risk to reward. And even then, you would still need that confirmation. So I was actually kind of skimming through my chart and looking at Phantom. It is pretty beaten down compared to a lot of coins. Kind of like Link, but it is at least sitting on this daily demand and not just falling right through it. Okay, so I'm reading these comments now. All right, but how do you take entry when the price reaches the desired levels? So you just play the order block that sponsors the confirmation. So like once you get that, like if you're making higher highs and higher lows, once you make a lower low, you play limits off of the order block that sponsored that lower low. Peep C98 supposed to get listed on Coinbase soon. Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. Wow, since I charted this. Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't really mess with this where we're at, just because you're in price discovery. It's like the same thing at playing. I mean, like people think it's great to play at all-time lows, but in all honesty, it's really not, because you're not, the way I trade at least. There's no data for you to go by. I mean, you just broke strike. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this personally. Definitely wouldn't even trade or long or short. Not saying it looks bad or good. It's just, um, you know, there's not much to go off of there. But what I would wait for, like for instance, if we would have had this anywhere in this demand over here, you already really reacted to in this area. But if you would have just reacted to demand and without breaking down from it, it would have been cool. But I wouldn't touch this. Usually use 4-hour and daily. Yeah, for choaches, I wouldn't really. I would use like the 4-hour and the daily to find mitigation zones. I wouldn't use them for confirmation. What does this say? How? Yeah. I got you. I didn't realize I could just show you guys comments on here. The exchange is Binance. It's futures. It probably doesn't have. Oh wait, actually, that might be why. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm just so used to putting perps. Oh, here we go. Cool. Honestly, good shit for saying that. So maybe this might change this narrative. Actually, definitely not. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you're still. I mean, I guess there might be something over here in this demand. It's kind of like. I mean, I don't know. It hasn't been tapped. But you're talking about, you know, I guess that could be a little bit of a game changer. I would just watch for bullish price action. It doesn't really look like that's what you're getting here. If anything, Yeah, if anything, you could look for shorts because you came up in the longs. I guess if you played limits here, which wouldn't have been a good idea in my opinion. But oh yeah, let me listen. Oh yeah, but you know, you really just finally got this change of character. It looks like right there. Oops. So this is an interesting one because it kind of took a while, but actually, it looks like it probably already got hit. You could use this institutional candle here. Got an entry. So it's an odd one there, though. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't look great. I wouldn't be touching. I mean, just unless you're dollar cost averaging into something, I would not be touching equity here. Anything, in my opinion. Maybe like some of these Web3 coins, if you can catch a high move, but personally, it's just if you know how to trade, this is a trader's market. It's difficult to trade. That's why you see a lot of people who traded a shitload during the 2020 and 2021 bull runs. They're completely in the dark now, but there is still trades to be made. It's just you have to know how to trade in ranges and on using low time frames. And you'll get stopped out. That's the thing. You have to have a high risk reward because you're gonna get stopped out day trading. Like we can get stopped out 2 or 3 times, but when the one trade hits the right way and you hit 15 to 1, it's you just made up for 15 losses. Probably not exactly 15 because you trimmed along the way, but somewhere around 10 losses you just made up for with one trade. But you have to understand that, and also you have to have a plan too so you can fine tune it. Like whenever you're in these range trading situations, if you don't have like a solid plan, you won't be able to analyze what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. But there's a lot of money to be made off this volatility. ENS. I'll show you what I had. It's right here.
ENS was looking like redistribution
Yeah.
based on volume.
Look at that shit.
If you look, it was pinching. If you go to the 3-minute chart, you could see that the volume was
Yeah.
steadily decreasing. And if you, what I like to do is put an RSI on the in my indicators just to see what retail's looking at. RSI was at the roof and volume was on the floor. If you look at Nasdaq did the same thing today.
Yeah, this shit just got rated like a motherfucker.
Mhm.
And
Highs
do you
right
think we're
there.
gonna go clear those highs now or no?
These highs right here.
You like we're gonna go? You think we'll go take them back out or we'll
This
pull
high.
back first?
This high right
I
here.
think you could target external liquidity on it.
Okay.
Yeah. You'd probably. That's why I was like, even these right here, like I wouldn't just play limits on this. I would wait for confirmation because, like Algo said, you would be targeting external, so you'd be looking for these lows right here. If not, I mean, really, yeah, I would say these lows would be really your target down here, if not farther, to be honest.
You know, what's
I'm
another
in
good one?
ENS. I'm like right over 20, so I'd be good if we went to there.
Yeah, if you check ape is about to go up, like it's about to bust because it's in 4-hour demand. So I have this level, like I shorted it from the top, from that top wick down to here. Yep, right there, boom. So it broke structure on the 15 minute to upside. It broke structure on the 5 minute to the upside. So what I'm waiting for is this order to fill me so I can ride it the 1 hour break of structure up to the 4-hour supply zone that we flipped
Yeah, this is
at the
actually
top.
good. I like this right here. Maybe something even like here. That's getting greedy, but I just like it because it's gonna be that fair value gaps filled. Could really use the whole wick, even though I think that's a up candle. Yeah, but I'd still use the wick just because it's right there. And then, yeah, this is actually a pretty good setup. I mean, if you really reversed here and you could swing this to highs, but uh, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I mean, I don't know though. Looking at a chart, if you hit that, you could swing it. I would probably say really to this first high. I wouldn't say the all-time high. But I mean, it would make you could, but at the same time, it's kind of like I think the reason that we saw that was due to the other side mint. So Gini said ENS. Oh shit, I'm already. But yeah, ENS like, I wouldn't like be FOMOing into it up here unless you're ready to swing it. I know that you guys, I think Playboy gave that to you guys like somewhere in here even. It's ran pretty hard, but that is not a good sign for the local price action. That kind of wick. And there's a lot of fundamental stuff going on too, like the whole 4-digit and 5-digit wave where people are just like aping into numbers for domains. So I think that's another reason why you're seeing influx. Hella high time frame. I almost forgot this earlier. My bad. Let's look at the daily. Oh damn, this is actually pretty nice. If you can get, you need more confirmation, but you're in a possibly good spot. I'll say that. I'm actually gonna set alerts for this. I don't know if I even have any more alerts open. Yeah, I would wait for that though, but like I said, it's just everything is just so sketch right now with the way Bitcoin is. Seemed like you may have got some kind of harmonic going on here, or maybe going to play out. Not yet, definitely, but be nice. Maybe get 886 there. Almost want to check, just out of curiosity. Yeah, there'd be that 1 minute demand down there. I mean, it's not something I would play limits off of, but kind of in back testing, and you'd be surprised what will correlate and will actually hit. I'm still kind of like back testing to see how to play them, but harmonics go along with smart money, liquidity concepts pretty well. Luna. I'm watching this fucking all damn day. We're finally now into this 1 hour supply if you draw just this last candle. So it's been getting manipulated pretty hard. I wanted to short it. I did short it once earlier today and then ended up getting stopped to break even. And it's given confirmation, but the more and more I was looking at it, it gave confirmation based off of using multiple candles. And every time I try to do that, you get a good trade, but it usually gets it'll see like gains by clearing lows that are like very close on the low time frames, but then you'll see a quick reversal. But this is actually where I would rather look for a reversal zone now that we're up here. So we'll see how this goes. I'd be probably looking for a 1 minute change of character at the absolute least. Next one, Adam. We'll look at that in a second.
Yeah, Luna is bullish as fuck, bro. Like I don't get the whole shorting it.
Yeah, that's
bro,
the thing. The 4 hour.
The weekly
nice.
is like stupid bullish. Like
yeah, because like the 4 hour right here, it's like you hit this 4 hour demand.
Yeah, if that 1 hour, if I would have seen a break of structure right there, you know where those wicks are that you have your supply drawn out or demand drawn out at the bottom? Yeah, the ones to the left, that bigger box. Yeah, that wick right there, if you pull back, we never broke the low.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with Luna, though, the only thing that I would want to see shorts is just like, yeah, you can see this price action to still leave these equal lows for time, but at the same time, it's just like, fuck, I really would love that to get cleared, and then I would want to long the shit out of it. But it seems like every time we come into premium here, or to discount here, we see
it just gets bought up.
Exactly.
Maybe they start buying more Bitcoin when we go into fucking discount.
Yeah,
to manipulate the price to the upside.
Another thing too with like the stable coins being minted via Luna, so that's another thing to keep in mind. It's 4 hour supply too. That's the thing. I wouldn't necessarily look for like the most insane pullback here, but I really would like these lows to get cleared.
Yeah, I was
see.
looking at shorting it from 87 to 89 bucks around that range. That supply candle that's an inside bar on the 4 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've kind of tapped into it, and we're also in 1 hour supply. Because if we don't make a higher high here, I would love if we like leave equal highs here and maybe retrace a little bit, but we'll see how that plays out. Too many fucking rectangles. The thing is, though, that's weird is it is starting to show bearish price structure. It's odd because, like, for instance, like this, that's not just a liquidity raid. That it's a change of character. You got multiple closures under it, so it's like it's weird because it's still reacting bullish. Let's use this candle. I didn't even hit that one. I don't even really worry about that. And you get this, huge increase of volume, and now you're starting to get a decrease as we pull into the supply. So I could see a pullback. But really, it's like you were saying, and it's just on the 4 hour. I mean, you really just reacted to this demand, and it's kind of like, honestly, I wonder. It'd be a weird up one, but I wonder if there's any kind of harmonic here. Nah, it wasn't even really. I mean, technically it's not, but I don't know. You see price react sometimes whenever, and maybe even if you drew it up here, drew like on a 1 hour or something, this would have just been your type 2 pushing into that demand. Hercules getting licked on Luna. I think AVAX might push up to those higher limits. Tap, I didn't get wicked. Somebody else said in chat too. Interesting. What did this say?
I love that ENS left the wick there. We definitely have to go fill that bit.
Right. Oh, this didn't hit stop. That's what's so close. I was like, holy shit. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, ENS, that wick is fucking crazy.
I do think, though, if
So yeah,
Luna turns that supply zone into demand, I mean, we could go up and there's a zone that we haven't cleared at 107 that we could possibly hit if we break structure. Because that was daily structure that I had. If we break it, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, because you can get flips off of these supply and demand levels that'll turn out very nicely.
That's actually like your highest risk to reward is if you wait and you get change of character plus a flip of a supply and demand zone.
Yeah, exactly.
But you wanted to price action to like play tug of war inside of the supply zone or demand zone, not just like rail through it, because that supply or demand zone doesn't mean shit. But
Yeah.
you just wanted to fight that. Those setups, they're like Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like a 90% chance for you to win. And then you incorporate it with the whole, target external liquidity with when you're in the internal price.
Yeah, I've been trying to like back test flips lately, like on low time frames, because you'd be surprised. Those shit's like in propulsion blocks. That shit fucking smacks.
Yeah, propulsion blocks are great.
It's an ape chart. We can go over ape again. Like Algo was saying, ape looks pretty good. I mean, if you can come back down,
Yeah, I thought it left me behind because I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, I didn't want the smoke.
Yeah, I think it could still come back. Maybe even use the. I don't know. I would set like
It's hard with
alerts
this
to-
coin. It's like,
Yeah, that's just choppy.
It's not enough data.
Well, even that, there's so many extrinsic factors that are affecting the price that it's
Exactly.
like sometimes it just makes me personally makes me not want to play certain things.
Yeah. That's why I've been just kind of on the sidelines with ape. I've yet to buy ape equity or trade it, not even once.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thankful I traded ape. I would have fucked up if I didn't.
All damn day.
Is Luna your main setup you're watching right now, Casper, or just your favorite?
It's my main. I wouldn't even say it's my favorite. I just fucking have stared at this chart over and over. But honestly, like Bitcoin too. We're in a kind of like just a weird. I wish I would have checked some more setups last night because I could have caught some longs. But when I got home I was out of town and I just didn't really feel like charting stuff. But there was a lot of nice setups that happened during the London session. I think that's probably gonna be the same thing that happens again tonight. We'll see though. Because really, usually in this Tokyo session, you'll see consolidation. It seems like we're seeing certain coins. We're definitely seeing liquidity
Is Hong
range.
Kong open in 12 minutes, or they already open?
I want to say they're already open. I know that Tokyo. Yeah,
Tokyo's 8:30 Eastern.
Is it 8? I thought it was 7.
It is. I'm about to look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 7 Eastern. How do I define supply and demand zones in a chart? Well, I would find 1 hour, or really you can use 15-minute or better order blocks. So order blocks are going to be candles that basically precede an expansion. It's like, for instance, you could draw this. This would be an order block. Yeah, this would have been an order block. And now just because there's supply and demand doesn't mean that you just can play right off of them and you're going to win every time. You use those changes of character along with supply and demand, along with is the price and discount or premium, meaning if you draw a fib, is it below or above midpoint? But supply and demand in a nutshell is just zones that we've seen price expand from. We've seen either bids or asks, aka sells, come into the market. Oh, what's this last one? On that note, I'm probably gonna hop off here. I know it's not 10, but I'm gonna hop off here and get some food. My girl just got home and I'm starving, but I will holler at you guys on Wednesday. Also, if you're in the Discord, just at me, DM me, or if you're in YouTube or whatever, you can DM me or tweet me, comment on YouTube, whatever, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. I appreciate everything, and you guys have a great night.